Good morning. It's a bit gray here in Bordeaux on Sunday. Nice, nevertheless. And I just wanted to update you because I went to, we had a wine tasting last night at Voilà, or a cave au vin here in the city. And I just wanted to update you on this business of what white belts, beginners with these sorts of things, how they make their way. And last night was really, really interesting because it suggested ways and ways of doing this so that you learn your way around a wine list and at the same time give thought to food. And probably the really interesting thing of all, most basic thing, has nothing to do with knowledge and everything to do with experience, is that you concentrate on what you're eating. Uh, Wine tasting shouldn't be a bore. There should be engaged attention, and you should be a pleasure. You should think, oh, that's so. And that we did last night. Now, what was the strategy? Okay, Cavava, of course, is a place with lots of wine, and one of the strategies you'll find in places like that, if they serve food, is that the food serves the wine, not the other way around. So, quite interesting. There's a varied menu, but short. It's not a big menu, and it's not a big wine list either. At Voilà. Voilà, and just for those who know this, know Bordeaux well, is in the St Pierre district of the city, and it's a fun street with all kinds of things going on, wine and food wise, and Voilà's part of it. And just an added charm point is that Voilà looks like someone's slightly crowded living room. There's chairs and there are small tables, so basically what you'd call, wine tables almost. It's just room to, and so you eat off these, and it's a bit home, and it's rather comfortable and wonderful, and I like going there. Okay, now what's the strategy? The strategy last night looked at the wine list, and thought about the experience of the two people from Wales who joined us, and I thought, well, let's do a Bordeaux thing rather than venture abroad, and the Voilà has a really nice collection of wines from outside Bordeaux and even outside France. But I thought we'd just focus on Bordeaux. And at the same time, because we were doing reds and not other things, I thought we'd focus on the right bank rather than the left. I live on the left, but the Saint Emilion's on the right. So we had two wines, both from Saint Emilion, and one less expensive, and then we popped up with a more expensive one for the contrast of quality, because there was quite a gap in price. And my friends enjoyed it sufficiently. We were both liquefied further enough that we finished the bottle, because as the maitre d' said, this would be cheaper if we did that. So the interesting thing about the food, though, was that discussing it made me realize now, as the maitre d' explained, all of the wines and all of the food were marriageable. They were designed to be together. Now, there was some distinctive quality. Some of the cheeses quite strongly flavored, but that was part of the trick too. The wines we had were, I wouldn't call them full-bodied. I would call them middle. This is a long way from the classic Burgundy in my experience, and yet was interesting sort of thing to do. So the upshot was that we visited the bank. We've concentrated on Bordeaux reds. We get an idea of color. You get an idea of whether you like Bordeaux reds or not, and pictures of the labels, things, memory tricks, so that you can keep it all in your head. You can bring it up and thinking, I did that when I see a Bordeaux red on a wine list back, say, Barclay Cardiff or Abergavenny or wherever. Then you'll make a judgment that I experience, and this is where you do the education of the palate. Really, really, the delight here. The palates are worth educating. Anyway, on that cheerful note, that's how we spent Saturday evening.